basically that's a tool that you can take your yarn off of your, what are they called? Oh no, I'm forgetting everything. Off of your bobbins. Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as Nitty Natty. Welcome to episode 257 of the Love in Stitches podcast. I have been working on my podcasting corner this week, and hopefully it looks a little bit better than it did last week. I still have some more plans to go. So I ended up going to what is it called? Home Goods, I think. And I was on the lookout for curtains to hang behind me to cover up these walls. If you watched last week's episode, you'll know there's like a little bit of graffiti, a little bit of paint missing and things. And I think what I did a poor job of explaining last week is that I am in my parents' house temporarily. So I'm not going to be doing anything major, more like treating this space as I'm renting a room. And so I'm not doing anything as major as like painting or hanging things. So getting these, actually they're not curtains, I found tablecloths. So getting these tablecloths is part of a good temporary solution and hopefully something I can bring with me into the next space that we're in. Then I wanted to do something to cover up this chair. So again, I found a tablecloth in pink, of course. And I think what I'm gonna do after I sit in this a little bit longer, I think I'm gonna like pin not to the chair. I don't want to mess up the chair because this chair, I believe, has been in my family for many years and it has been reupholstered at least one time, maybe more than one time, but that's really expensive and I don't think my mom wants to do that. So a tablecloth is a really simple solution. I think I'll just take some sewing pins and like pin back to the tablecloth itself, again, not to the chair because I don't want to mess it up. Other things that I'm thinking is I didn't realize until I sat down to film today that my tablecloths obviously don't cover this portion of the wall right here. And I think it would look nice if I did kind of cover it up. I also have a blackout curtain here that blocks off the bathroom. Oh, there you can see my towel. So I kind of want to create the same sort of like cover here. And maybe because I'm getting a lot of light through this window, which is unpredictable at different times of day, it's like too bright. You might see as we film today that things are gonna like get brighter and softer. Last week I was able to keep the window open, but this week it's really sunny. So I think I might just get some curtains, maybe something slightly sheer so the light can still come through, but it's not gonna do that like blind effect where it's like slotted light like this. Perfect example. Thank you, light. So yeah, I may get some like kind of gauzy curtains in a similar color because I don't think there were any more tablecloths like this at the store that I went to. So yeah, and maybe a table. That's the other thing. I want a table so I can set my laptop or set my projects and my different things on to just create a lovely, cozy podcasting corner. Okay, so what we're gonna get into this week, I have been focused mostly on 2 projects. Last week I shared like 6 projects or something because I'm getting all caught up from doing lots of crafting over the holidays. So now I'm gonna start to get those narrowed down. It's difficult to work on that many projects every single week and to make any kind of significant progress on them. So you're going to start to see me kind of knock projects slowly off that list and not add more things on. So we're really getting focused on things this week, and I'm excited to share with you what I've done. Let's start with my Nordlig cardigan. This is a pattern by Fiber Tales. It is an all over one color brioche, and I am using Ruby and Rose's Rustic Rose Base, which is a DK weight non-superwash merino. It is so soft and squishy, and the colorway name, I believe, is Rosy Cheeks. We were just talking about this last night, actually, with my membership and how I keep forgetting the name of this color because the base name also has rose in it. But I think I got that right. And all my project information is in my project pages as well, in case I say something incorrectly. So what I've done in the last week is I've finished up the back of this cardigan. Everything you can probably see is on try it on tubing because last night I blocked this. So this is not completely done, but it is in a very much sweater-like state where it totally looks like a sweater, but there are some key pieces missing. So I still need to do the button band that goes around the neck. I need to do both of the ribbing, like hems on the front and on the back. But before I got into that, I wanted to make sure I liked the fit and the length, in case I need to do any more brioche rows to get it to a fit that I like. So I did try this on before blocking it, and I took a video so we can kind of compare. When I tried it on pre-blocking, the back is riding up a lot because of the construction of this. I think the kind of over the shoulder part needed to really relax. So hopefully it's done that. It's still a little bit damp underneath the arms and stuff, but most of this is already dry. I got an exciting new tool this week, which I'll be talking about later in highlights. So why don't we just try this on here? It's going to be a little hard to tell about the length with the way that I'm set up in this chair, but I just kind of want to see what it looks like. It's so comfy and cozy and oversized. It's got nice, long, like really loose sleeves, which I am loving. And so it kind of has a drop shoulder. I think that would be correct, right? Because even though there's not a seam, the shoulder, you could say, kind of starts right here where the underarm is. So that looks really, really nice. And even when I add the ribbing on here, I don't know if it's going to close. I mean, right now it's closing because I haven't attached the sides yet, right? Like I can pull it closed, but once I get the sides attached, I'm not really sure. Okay, you can see the back is coming up a lot higher again. Like what, an inch or so, because I have the same number of rows on the front and the back and they're not hanging evenly. So let me adjust that back a little ways. I mean, that might still happen when I wear it. I don't know. I think that's looking like a pretty good length. I am going to get about, actually I haven't looked, maybe a couple of inches when I add the ribbing on. And I don't want this to be super long because it is so wide. I think having it cropped the way that the designer has it is a really good balance for my body type. So I am going to be going with that. So yeah, I think she's ready for ribbing. I am loving this so much. It's so comfy and so cozy. My buttons are set to arrive tomorrow, so I should be able to get a clip of them into this podcast to show you. I'm sad they didn't arrive today for me to show you, I don't know, and talk about them, but I think I'm really going to like them. So that's great. That was another reason that I kind of was slowing down on this project a little bit, because I can't go too much further without having the buttons and kind of placing them. I guess I could have. I know how many buttons I'm getting. I got some extras, but I feel like it will be nice to have the buttons and really be able to make sure, they fit through the buttonholes that I'm creating and all of that. So if things go well, I should be able to finish this project this week. So that will probably look like starting the ribbing on the back first, because I think that's just going to be the easiest to go ahead and get done. Oh, well, that's really loud. Hopefully the shower isn't too loud. I think it's going to get quieter in just a second. So I need to do the back ribbing. Then I need to do the button band, and then I can finish with the front ribbing, seaming, weaving in ends, and she will be done. Next up, I have my fabulous Yorkshire Crochet Along Blanket by Mima Makes. I have not stuck to my 1 square a day goal, but I did complete an entire row of squares this week and got them all joined. So this yarn, there's actually 2 different yarns in here. All the colorful squares are Pretty Twisted Yarns 2023 Advent. It was a neon rainbow. And then I am joining it with Cascade Heritage sock yarn in the color Macadamia, which has been a perfect color to join all these neon brights. So I had 3 squares joined last week. I got 3 squares joined this week, and I am now at a standstill because I need to block my next squares before adding them in. So the pattern does recommend to block before joining them, and having done a couple of blankets where I've joined stuff in, I feel like this is a really good idea, especially in a blanket like this where half of the squares, well, not half of them, sorry, there's 12 different patterns and that each one is repeated twice. So there's 12 different sizes essentially. They're all pretty much the same size, but some are like 6.5 inches, some are like a little over 7 inches, and they're all supposed to be around 7. So blocking them just really helps kind of get them all the same size before adding them together and kind of to create a more consistent blanket. So my next task this week is going to be blocking these next few squares. I have them stacked, like I laid everything out and then I stacked them in order. So these should be my next 6. This is probably something I can get done today. See how these two are pretty different in size, but I can block them. This one will relax and it will open up quite a bit. This one, oh, are these the same? No, they're not. Okay, good. I tried not to put squares that were the same next to each other. And I think that's 6. So I have to get all of those blocked and they should dry pretty fast. And then I can start again on my 1 square a day. So joining these together doesn't take that long, probably about an hour. So hopefully next week I can have a whole other row added in. The project that I've probably put the most time into this week are my Beachcomber Flares. And that sort of came about because my other projects were, at a standstill. I got my Nordlig cardigan to the end of into the body, and then I needed to block it. And then I got my squares to the end of a row. I needed to block more, but then we went to my brother's house for the weekend. And so neither one of those were good projects to bring along. I wasn't going to bring along squares and block them at my brother's house. So this is the project that came with me, and therefore it got a lot of attention. So these are the Beachcomber Flares by Brianna Lapino, aka the Little Wolf Knits. I'm also using Little Wolf Knits yarn in Bottoms Up, which is an exclusive color for the Wolfpack and Love and Stitches membership. So these are going to be the most comfy and fabulous pants. I also think they're going to go really well with my Nordlig cardigan. I am not opposed to wearing all pink, even though some people are opposed to that. So where I have gone since last week, did I lose my stitch marker? Oh, no, here it is on the inside. So this is interesting. On different patterns of Brianna, she does different things. Sometimes she does a drawstring or an elastic waistband with ribbing and a drawstring. For this one, it's a really wide fold over band. So this whole part up until the stockinette reverses is going to fold over. I will put a little bit of elastic, like, what is it called? It's like the really thin elastic, not the wide band, elastic string or cord or something like that. But I will put that in as recommended in the pattern. So I flipped around. Well, that's not the front of it. Look at my cute little stitch marker. I flipped around and I've been working my hip increases and getting through basically the whole main part of the pants before the leg split. So now I only have a couple of inches to go until I'm ready to split, and I'll be working individually on each of the legs. So I'm really excited about hitting that next milestone in my pattern. Now I created sort of an in-between size for myself here. So I actually started the pattern on size 2, I believe. And that's because I want it to come up pretty high on my waist. I tried on some leggings or some yoga pants that I really like. They're actually really similar. They're the same brand as these. So they come up pretty high. They're pretty small here. And then I have a pretty drastic difference between my waist and my hips. Basically, I go from one size to the next size. And so I'm able to incorporate that because I'm making my own pants, right? I don't just have to choose a straight size for the whole way through. So I chose the size 2, and again, this is all on my project page, or I believe it's a size 2. And then when I did my hip increases, I ended up doing just some extra increases to get myself from one size up into the next. So now for the rest of the pattern, I'm going to be working that size 3, which is a better fit for my hips and my thighs. So I think that's really great when you can, what's the purpose of creating your own clothes if you're not making them fit you really, really well? So I'm very excited about that. Now, when I get to the point where I am ready to split for the legs, my plan is to kind of break off my yarns. I have two of the same color attached, and I'm doing helical knitting, which is just a technique for doing one row stripes that you don't carry the yarn. It's really nice because it just creates, it doesn't create that at the beginning of round where you have all those like tight stitches, and instead it spreads it out. It's like you can slip stitch it. I've got a video on how to do this, but it's really nice. A little bit annoying sometimes, but really nice. And why did I say that? Why was I sharing that? I have two yarns attached. Oh, I'm going to cut both of the yarns once I get to the legs, and I'm going to block this. And then I'm going to kind of try it on. It won't have leg holes yet, but I want to make sure that I don't do too long of a rise. That was one of the issues I had when I created my shorts several years ago, is I overestimated how much rise that I needed, basically from the waistband to like that, like right underneath your, I'm trying to think of how to say this like appropriately, your crotch, basically, right to your crotch. And I don't want to make that too long, or else it'll be saggy, it'll be like scrunching down. So I think the best way to estimate that is to block it. So that's my plan. A few more inches, a block on this, and then I'll be carrying on to the legs. Welcome to episode 122. Is cooking labor-intensive meals getting in the way of your precious knitting time? You need Factor. Enjoy fresh, never frozen meals that are ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, including Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie. Meals are delivered right to your door without the stress of meal planning, grocery stores, or cooking fatigue. Just heat for 2 minutes and you have a restaurant-quality meal ready to eat in no time, leaving you more time for knitting and crochet. Factor also offers Gourmet Plus meals as part of your weekly options, which means you can get a little gourmet with your meal plan whenever you're craving something special. Factor is flexible. Change your order up every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week, or pause and reschedule your deliveries anytime. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50natty to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50natty at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. I have one more project that I worked on this week. I actually haven't worked on any of my spinning this week, maybe a teensy bit at the beginning of last week, but nothing since then. So I have nothing exciting to share. I have no finished yarn to share, but I did want to mention I really appreciated everyone's tips on the last episode. A lot of you shared with me that there is no reason to get a nitty natty right now. Basically, that's a tool that you can take your yarn off of your, what are they called? Oh no, I'm forgetting everything. Off of your bobbins. You can take the yarn off of the bobbins, wind it into a skein, therefore you can soak your yarn and let it set before using it to knit or crochet. So a lot of you said no need to get that right away. You can either make your own. A lot of you suggested there's a tutorial on using a PVC pipe. I don't know if my skills are there for that, so I think I'm going to take up the second most suggested tip, which is to use your oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? Swift. You can use your Swift to create skeins. I know it's not going to be as fast and easy maybe as using a nitty natty, but I do have one of those Swifts that sits on the floor or sits on a table, and it's got the crossbars. So I think it actually will be relatively easy, as maybe I'll need a little bit of help, or I could probably just put my bobbins or leave my bobbins on the Lazy Kate and just kind of spin my Swift around. So those are my thoughts on that. Nothing has happened in the last week. I don't know if progress will happen this week either, but we shall see. So last project that I have to talk about, I have made a few more Tulle kitchen scrubbies. I believe I made one per day. So I think I made 3 more than this, but I finished up all of the black scrubbies. I had a big thing like this of black tulle. Now I am on to navy. My mother-in-law requested navy and black scrubbies. So I will be sending the majority of these to her. Now that I've got 4 of these done, I might go ahead and get those in the mail to her. And then I'll hang on to some for myself or for other gifts. When I was ordering this tulle, I decided I would get hot pink as well because I love having a hot pink one. And I use these scrubbies literally as sponges to clean off and wash dishes. They're fantastic. I love them so much. They don't hold on to like, that smell that a sponge has that like, I don't even know how to describe it. I hate that smell. To me, these do not smell like this. And every single time that I run the dishwasher, I throw it in the dishwasher and let it get washed. So they are really, really great. This is a free pattern that I have now added to Ravelry. So if this looks like something that you might want to try, you can head over to Ravelry and grab that pattern for free. This past week, we had 2 new videos come out. The first one was a tour at Green Mountain Spinnery, so a fiber mill tour. Green Mountain Spinnery is absolutely incredible. They are a woolen spun mill, and the equipment that they're using, some of it dates back to the late 1800s. A lot of it is over 100 years old with new parts incorporated in. They have a washing machine. I think that's the one that was like the late 1800s. Anyway, it was a fabulous place to tour, super fascinating. If you haven't watched that yarn store tour, I guess fiber mill tour, it is a part of our series, our 50 states series, and you can find it in that playlist. Then coming up this Saturday, if you want to join us for a live premiere, the videos, of course, are recorded ahead of time and edited and everything, but then when they go live on the channel for the first time, I like to do a premiere, so everyone watching it for the first time can chat together, a little live chat comes up. We talk about the video a little bit, but mostly we kind of chit chat about like, where are you watching from and what's the weather there and what projects are you working on this weekend? So those are going to be every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern time until all of our tours go up, which is coming soon. We have, I think, 4 more tours to go. This Saturday, we're going to New York, to Brooklyn, specifically to Cleo's Yarn Cafe. This is a fairly new yarn store, and it also has a really young staff and ownership, and so it's just a really cool, unique place. They've got a lot of really fantastic yarn. They do a lot of really great education. They've got classes in weaving, classes in knitting and crochet and all kinds of stuff. And then they're a cafe. So they've got amazing teas. They bring in pastries. They do coffees. It's just a really cool place to hang out. So if you are looking forward to more tours, we've got still plenty coming up, and you can join us on Saturday for Cleo, Saturday, January 18th. The 2025 Sock Week sponsor application is going to be opening up pretty soon on Friday, February 7th. So Sock Week is a make-along that we have been doing for now 7 years. I think this might be the 7th year. It's either the 6th or the 7th year. And I think it's the 7th year, which is just wild. But basically, it's a make-along that happens over 8 days in July. And it's a challenge to knit or crochet 1 adult sock. Many people will try to challenge themselves to do more than that, but a lot of times we're encouraging new sock makers to come in and join and complete their first sock. So leading up to Sock Week, there's a lot of fun things to explore. We do a lot of fun sponsored products, which means I can bring in lots of makers to share with you. They create an exclusive item that's themed for Sock Week. And this year, our Sock Week theme is going to be ice cream social, which I think is going to be so much fun. So I will have a sponsor application. It will go live on February 7th. I'm going to leave it open. I think I have it scheduled to be open for 2 weeks. So you will have to complete it in that 2-week timeline. So if you are a maker, a yarn dyer, a bag maker, or an accessories maker, those are our 3 main categories. You can apply with your idea to be a Sock Week sponsor, and all the details will be in that form. And then the timeline of what's going to be expected from there all the way up into Sock Week in July will also be in there. I try to stay really, really organized with things, so all the information will be in there as well. So yeah, that will open up on February 7th. I've just gotten my woolen yarn box for February, so let's open this guy up. Okay, the theme for this month is rodeo and romance. Join your partner on the dance floor. We are line dancing and romancing. Take a breather from the dance floor to knit and crochet while you tap your foot to the beat. This night is filled with all the lassos and love. Oh, that's really, really cute. Okay, let me try not to drop everything. Ooh, that is super pretty. All right, so the Woolen Women Yarn Box is a monthly subscription box that is full with an immersive sort of pack of things. There's always yarn and a bag and a charm. Then there's usually like a candle or a soap bar or different things. And there's also 2 levels that you can get. You can get the, I think there's one that just has yarn and bag and charm, and then there's the one that has all the add-ons. So I've got the full box here, which is very, very fun. Okay, let's see what comes. We'll start, I guess, with an accessory. There is a little kind of card in here. It looks like some washi tape and a pin. That is super cute. Oh, it also comes with patterns. So if you choose the knitted version, you're going to get fingering weight yarn and you will get a knit pattern. It looks like for this month, it is the Book Nook socks. So the pattern is in here behind that, but I won't show you that. Who is this by? Olivia Villarreal, it looks like. This Handmade Life. And then for, oh wait, there's 2 knit patterns. Sometimes they give me both the knit and crochet so I can show them off, but it looks like there's also this. How cute is that? It says Knit Q Valentine Headband. Oh, that's actually super duper cute. Okay, let's get into the yarn. Ooh, wow, this is beautiful. It's called Rodeo and Romance. Look how pretty that color is. And then there's 2 10-gram minis here. I really would like to be working up my subscriptions every single month. So I'm going to make it a goal to cast these on in February. And whether I'm making socks or something else, I want to be using up this yarn every single month because it is so pretty. And with all the other commitments I have in my brain, I often don't get back to my subscription. So that is something for me this year. I'm trying to reduce and use more things, reduce the intake and use more things essentially. Okay. Oh my gosh. The bag is so good. So they make the bags as well. That is so cute. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put these in here together so they're ready to use. And then the charms are made by Sam. Oh my gosh. So a little pink cowboy hat. Hey, that's better. Okay, a little pink cowboy hat and then kind of an orangey heart with a rose on it. Almost looks a little bit like a candy heart. That is so cute. I'm putting those in the bag too. Okay, I got 2 other accessories for this month. A lanolin lotion bar. It says Black Cherry Merlot. And they make these too, which is really cool. Lanolin shea butter, cocoa butter, mango, and essential oils for fragrance. Oh, that smells really sweet. It almost smells like, remember those chapstick? The chapsticks that used to be all the different like scents and stuff. Like you could get Coca-Cola and all different things. It smells really good. I like that. Okay, and then the soy wax candle. I have been using these candles now that we are here at my parents' house. My morning routine is to sit down at my desk, light a candle, and start looking through my emails just to start the day. And so I have been using these candles. So our candle for this month is Love Spell. It doesn't say what the scent is. But it does say it's a soy wax candle. It's bringing to mind a body spray that I used to have, but I can't place the scent. It's sweet. That's all I can say. I'm terrible at describing scents, but I do love that it's red. So it'll be perfectly themed for February. I'm still using up I think it was my January one. That one's almost all the way burned through. So I will have this to enjoy in February as well. I love these. So you can order the February box through January 23rd. If you're watching this later and you miss it, the new boxes usually go up on the 25th for the following month. So through the 23rd, you can order February's box, and then on January 25th, March's box will be released. I have two highlights from the last week that I want to touch on. The first one is going over to my brother's house this weekend. Him and his wife are so gracious to us. They invite us over all of the time. We go over there and we hang out and we spend the night for a few days, and it's just so much fun. So this weekend in Nashville, we had a snowstorm. It wasn't really a storm, but for people here in Nashville, it definitely was a lot more snow than we're used to getting. I think we got around 5 inches in total. So since we knew there was going to be snow coming, my brother asked if we wanted to get over to their house before the snow and be snowed in there. And Kent and I were like, absolutely. So we actually went over Thursday night and stayed the night Thursday, Friday, Saturday with them. The snow came on Friday. We all work from home, so we all worked on Friday, and then we got to just enjoy the whole rest of the weekend together, which was fabulous. The dogs really loved the snow. They ran around outside in the snow in their backyard for hours, like at least an hour each day. Toaster was so tired. He ended up just basically, they have a 2-story house, and so we would be hanging out in the living room. He would go upstairs to their bedroom and just sleep in their bed. We wouldn't see him for like 6 hours. He would just be gone, sleeping and snoozing. He's hilarious. And then we would took the dogs on a couple of walks in the snow, which was really fun. And then the other thing that we did is we had kind of a nostalgia night. Kent and I like to do these where we go and we buy frozen foods from our childhood and desserts and things, and we just make them all up and have a really indulgent nostalgia meal. So we did that with them. We asked them for their favorite foods from their childhood. We ended up having dinosaur chicken nuggets, pizza rolls, of course. What else did we have? Uncrustables. We had like mini corn dogs. We had, I can't remember all the things. My favorite childhood dessert was Nutty Buddies, like the little Debbie ones. And then of course we had some peas and carrots because you got to have a little bit of vegetables. So it was just a really relaxing weekend and so much fun. My other highlight is that I got a spin dryer. So if you haven't heard of a spin dryer, don't worry. I hadn't really heard of it until I started doing yarn dyer tours. A lot of yarn dyers have these spin dryers. They almost look like, I don't even know how to describe them. They sit on the ground like a dryer, of course, but they're round and they open at the top. There's a lid on the top and you can drop in your wet yarn, garments, knitted items, close the lid, and it spins at a super fast rate. So when I was staying with Brianna, the Little Wolf Knits, she's a yarn dyer, she has a spin dryer, and I wanted to block something. And she said, well, you can block it and you can wring it out in the spin dryer and it'll dry like 3 times as fast. I don't know if she said 3 times as fast, but that's pretty much how fast it ended up drying. Like something that would normally take a couple of days dried overnight. And this was a sweater. As soon as I used that, I was like, I love this. This is cutting down on so much time. I don't have to use towels to wring out and then have towels to hang everywhere. And so I was like, you know what? I got to get a spin dryer at some point. I thought I would wait until we, later in the year when we're moving somewhere. But I realized I was kind of delaying, different projects that I wanted to do, like, come here. Like blocking this, for example. I really didn't want to do it because then I have to have something laid out for, several days. I don't really have the space for that right now in here, even though we're in a big house, things are just everywhere. And I'm like, if I had a spin dryer, I could just pop that in and then I could spin it out and it would dry overnight. And so that's what I did yesterday, or I ordered one, and yesterday I finally opened it up and got it set up. And this literally is almost dry, even though I blocked it and spun it out at like 5 p.m. last night, and it's only almost 11 a.m. now, which is just great. So I'm so excited. I need to wash. I haven't worn my traveler hoodie in a while because I spilled something on it. And then I'm like, it's been a while since I washed it. So I can wash that today, spin it out, boom, it'll be dry. It's just so exciting. I did make a couple of errors with it. There was a little bit of a learning curve. I thought that there's a spout at the bottom where all the water comes out. And I thought that it would stay closed until I started spinning it. No, as soon as you dump something in there, water starts coming out. So make sure you have a bucket underneath that spout. What else did I do? It was pretty much just that. And I had a water mess everywhere. So 10 out of 10 though. And I will link the spin dryer that I got. It's a Panda spin dryer. It's the same one that Brianna has, or I think it's the same brand that she has at least. So I will link that below. I got it from Amazon and it arrived, within a couple of weeks or maybe a week. I think a couple of weeks. I think I ordered it on January 1st and I got it a few days ago. So yeah, within a couple of weeks. So if that's something that you have maybe been looking into, it's going to be really handy and I'm so excited to have it. That is everything for today's episode. If you haven't, go ahead and check out this planners video. I go through all of these different knitting planners that are going to be fabulous for planning out your projects for this year. I will have some planning videos where I'm doing my 2025 project planning coming up. But first, I got to get through organizing all my yarn. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.